Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I'm going to be taking a look at another THREEZERO figure, and this right here is the MDLX Optimus Prime. And just like I've mentioned multiple times with these particular reviews, this was sent on to me directly by THREEZERO themselves, so this is a sample, but yeah, let's get it unboxed. So anyway, jumping right on into the aesthetics with the full 360-degree spin, and the MDLX Optimus Prime looks just as good as everything we've seen from THREEZERO so far. Now, just in case you're wondering what the MDLX is all about, as I was too, according to the THREEZERO website right here, it says that the MDLX line is a new series of articulated figures, capturing the spirit of THREEZERO's renowned DLX series, at a smaller scale with a similar high range of articulation and great durability, resulting in a groundbreaking affordable price. If you're curious as to how much this cost, the website says it's about $80 US. But as for what that blurb actually translates to into reality when you get the figure in your hands, this is incredible. I've had this out for a little while now, and it is incredibly enjoyable to play around with. It looks so good. The detail on here is ridiculous. Now, this is about 7 inches tall, or 178 millimeters. Once again, that's off the website. And the amount of detail they have crammed in here is ridiculous. From what I can see so far, the paintwork on here is absolutely fantastic. We've got a mix of different paint styles, that is a nice gloss blue, an almost matte red, and a lot of different shades of metallic silver. This is definitely classic Optimus Prime with the cool, new, gritty THREEZERO finish. All the details on here pop, the weathering is fantastic. Here and there, like the hands, it does look a little bit like it's been kind of slapped on with a brush a little bit quickly, but for the most part, the weathering looks great. The details are all super perfectly molded, and this looks incredible. Let's compare it to a bigger DLX. So anyway, there is the MDLX Optimus Prime up on a shelf between the DLX Siege versions of Megatron and Optimus Prime. Now, of course, this is a good deal smaller than both of those, but what it lacks in size, it definitely makes up for in character. Personally, I prefer the actual design of this right here than the Siege Optimus Prime. It's got a lot more detail, a lot more kind of cool venting, and in general, it's just grittier, platier, and awesome. And just for a little bit of a different kind of comparison, there it is side by side with one of the masterpiece Optimus Primes. Anyway, onto the accessories. So jumping into the accessories, and there is the MDLX Optimus Prime with absolutely everything that it comes with, and what we've got is 10 alternate hands, so that means we have a grand total of 12, as well as a bunch of optional equipment. Let's check it out. So first up, taking a look at the expressive hands that we have in here. So we've had the fists that have been on the whole time, this pair of wild, over-the-top, widespread, what I can only describe as expressive hands that I've never seen anything like before. I'm not entirely sure what these are meant to be doing. Like, these probably have a specific pose or a specific purpose that I don't know about and I'm totally not understanding, but these are hilariously awesome in a way I've never seen before. They always look ridiculous, and ridiculous in the best possible way. As for the last pair of hands we have, it's these double finger pointing hands, that is the index and middle finger pointing, and these are a lot of fun too. These are some cool, expressive hands. Still feel like I'm totally missing out on something. So the rest of the hands that we have in here are actually for using with stuff, so let's take a look at the rest of what Optimus comes with. So first up in here we've got a backpack. That slots on very simply, holds on really well, and adds a good deal of extra nice bulk around back. So far so good. On to the next thing. So now moving on to the weapons, and the first one we have in here is the close quarters weapon, which is the Energon Axe. This looks fantastic, just like Optimus does himself. We've got a nice gunmetal shaft with some dry brush detailing, and the blade itself is in a nice clear orange which catches the light very nicely. Attaching this into the hand can be a little bit difficult because nothing comes off the end of the axe or anything like that to allow it to just slide into the hand. You kind of just have to wrestle it into the fingers. This, to me, I feel can kind of weaken the fingers a little bit, loosening the grip a little bit. But otherwise, it does look good. It holds in very well besides a little bit of a tilt, but on the whole, pretty cool. So this right here is what I mean by it seeming like it loses the grip a little bit after wrestling this into the fingers. So it's meant to be holding it at this sort of angle, but it's dropping a little bit. I do like the extended angle for poses, but if it's meant to be held like that, it would be good if it's held like that. But hey, That does mean it is a miniature version of the DLX because the DLX did the exact same thing. So next up in here we've got Optimus's iconic Ion Blaster. This is all in the one color, which is the exact same gunmetal as we saw on the shaft of the Energon axe. There is the way all around, we've got that hole in the barrel, and this is very nicely detailed. Attaching this into the hand is super simple. It just slides in from the top like so, and that means the fingers stay nice and snug on it. So Optimus holds this absolutely perfectly, and it looks ridiculously good. It's a simple looking weapon when it comes to the colors and whatnot, but once it's actually in his hand, it looks phenomenal. That's one hell of a hand cannon right there. So the last of the accessories that we have in here is the Creation Matrix. Now we have a bunch of options with this. First off, you're able to pop off the front of the chest like so to place it inside. The coolest aspect about this chest is it's actually held on by a few magnets, so it holds on really well, but it's easy to remove. There's no clips or anything nasty like that. You also have the option of posing Optimus holding onto it with some hands specifically for that purpose. The index and middle fingers of both of those hands slot into the little handle bits of the Creation Matrix like so you can pose Optimus in this pose right here. So moving on to the articulation, and before I mention anything else, I haven't said it so far, but this is just a figure of Optimus in his robot form, so there is no transformation here. This is rock solid out of box. There is some zinc alloy parts in a lot of the joints, which makes it nice and robust. The neck up here is double jointed, but there is no giggity goo per se, but we do have down, up, side to side is kind of limited to that, but we do get some nice movement out of it. When it comes to the shoulder, this is really nice. First off, we've got this joint that moves out from inside. This can be a little hard to get all the way out. You need to kind of grab it there. And that allows us to move the shoulders very, very forward. That is cool. On top of that, we do have a ball joint inside of that, so that can move forward a lot. There it is all the way back. The actual shoulder itself has a moving shoulder armor that is separate to the arm, and raising it all the way up, that's what you will get. Next up, we do have the full 360 spin inside of the shoulder, the full 360-degree rotation right here. We have an extremely nice elbow bend right here. It's double jointed, goes all the way up. And we do have a nice recessing part in the actual elbow right there, which moves ever so nicely. The elbow background here is this little flappy piece that moves just like so if you want to cover up the joint, but it actually does move nicely when the elbow bends as well. The wrist here is a double ball joint, but I find what you mainly get out of that is just rotation. The ab crunch forward and back, very nice, especially to the front. This side to side right here is a little bit limited, and we do have rotation all the way around. We have a ball jointed front skirt. This side skirt here is attached to the back, but it does have its own little ball joint to get some motion out of that, but mainly once again moves at the back. In the hip, we've got a very simple but effective mechanism, which is a double ball joint. That is a zinc alloy joint, so it's nice and strong. And as for the kicks, there it is all the way up to the front. There it is then out to the back. And can we get the splits? Well, adjust that just the right way, and we most certainly can. Full rotation here at the upper leg. We've got a double jointed knee bend, so there is the bend when it's all the way, well, not moved up top, but the upper one can move just like so, and give us a little bit less, a little bit more. It's kind of hard to tell. Moving armor flappy round back, and we also have a rotating armor flappy up front. As for what we get out of the ankle, there it is on the ground, bending all the way to the front without leaving the ground, and we've got a nice toe bend just like so. That's as far forward as you'll get with the toe still on the ground, and there it is out to the back, and that's all you'll get. And then finally there's the side to side pivot. Oh wait, we've got some flappies here too. Whoa, wait a minute. Open up those flappies, and there is the side to side pivot. So you get a little bit more. So when it comes to the articulation, the MDLX Optimus Prime can pose up an absolute storm. The only little issues that I find with it is sometimes it's easy to pop the shoulder joint instead of, well, actually pulling out the joint that is inside of the torso when you're moving the arms to the front. Besides that, the ankles could have a little bit more pivot, but besides that, this thing is a posing master. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and I have to say I am super impressed yet again by what THREEZERO have done right here. If you're looking for an Optimus Prime that does have the original kind of old school Optimus look, but at the same time is a little bit realistic, gritty, battle damaged, then this might be the one you'd be looking for. Honestly, for something that is quite small, once again this is in the 7-inch or 178cm size range, well, this does feature all of THREEZERO's very mechanical, kind of grungy signature look. This is definitely awesome. Anyway, if you do want one of your own, I will throw a link in the description to THREEZERO themselves if you want to check it out, see some more info. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to THREEZERO for sending this on to me, and as always, I'll see you next time.